The day my HOA demanded I tear down the ugly silo on my land, I almost laughed in her face. Because standing there with her clipboard and fake authority, Karen had no idea that one decision wouldn't just ruin me, it would shut down phone service for the entire neighborhood. I bought this land long before the neighborhood even existed. Back then, it was just open valley. Quiet. No rules, no committees, no people arguing about mailbox colors. After 20 years working communications in the military, I wanted peace. But I also understood one thing better than most people: signals. And this valley? It was a dead zone. No service. No emergency calls. Nothing. So I fixed it. I reached out to an old contact at a telecom company. They had been trying to solve coverage in this area for years, but nobody wanted a giant tower ruining their view. My land solved that. High ground. Perfect angle. So we made a deal. They built a fully functional cellular relay tower, disguised as a farm silo. Looked old. Rusty. Harmless. But inside? It powered communication for miles. And for years, nobody questioned it. Not once. Until Karen showed up. The developers came fast. 1 year it was empty land. Next year? Rows of identical houses. Perfect lawns. Perfect fences. And then, the HOA. And eventually, Karen. She didn't just join. She took over. Within months, she became president. Suddenly, everything had rules. Trash cans? Timed. Paint colors? Approved list only. Decorations? Restricted. People weren't living there anymore. They were being managed. I stayed out of it. My land sat just outside their subdivision. Different property. Different rules. Or at least, that's what I thought. One afternoon, Karen pulled up to my driveway. She stepped out, clipboard in hand, already annoyed. "That structure," she said, pointing at the silo. "It's a violation." I didn't even respond at first. Because she thought it was just an eyesore. A week later, the letter came. $10,000 fine. Plus $500 per day until I removed the unauthorized structure. I read it once, then set it aside. Because if she knew what that tower actually did, she'd never send that letter. But Karen didn't stop. Another notice. Higher fines. Then she escalated. She posted a public violation notice at the entrance of the neighborhood, with my name on it. That's when I started paying attention. Not to her. To everyone else. Because something didn't feel right. I started talking to the neighbors. At first, quietly. Then more openly. And the stories came pouring out. Fines for small things. Warnings over nothing. Constant pressure. But here's the strange part. Everyone thought they were alone. That's how Karen controlled them. Isolation. But once people started talking, everything changed. We met one evening at my place. Just a few of us. Coffee. Notes. Stories. And then someone asked, "Where does all the money go?" Silence. Because nobody knew. So we requested financial records. What came back looked wrong. Missing pages. Blacked out sections. Numbers that didn't add up. And then we found something even worse than the fines. The landscaping company hired by the HOA? Owned by Karen's relative. Overpaid contracts. Fake expenses. Money disappearing. That's when we realized. This wasn't about rules. This was about control and profit. So I made one call. An attorney friend. She looked over everything and said one thing. Let her push this further. So we waited. And right on schedule. Karen called a mandatory HOA meeting. She wanted to make an example out of me. This was the moment everything would flip. The room was packed. Karen stood at the front, confident. She talked about community standards, about protecting property value. Then she pointed at me. This man refuses to comply. She announced a vote to take legal action and remove my silo. That's when I stood up. "Give me 5 minutes," I said. She hesitated, then agreed. I connected my laptop to the screen. First slide. A map labeled "No Signal Zone" before tower. Second slide. A diagram of the silo. Then I said it. "That structure you want removed is the reason your phones work." Silence. Confusion. Then doubt. But I wasn't done. I pulled out my phone, dialed a number, gave an authorization code, and said, "Run a temporary shutdown." 5 seconds. That's all it took. One by one. Phones lost signal. People checked their screens. No bars. No connection. Panic started rising. "This," I said calmly, "is what you're trying to tear down." The room exploded. People turned on Karen instantly. Questions. Anger. Realization. Then came the financial evidence. The fraud. The corruption. Everything. That night, Karen lost her position. Soon after, legal action followed. And the neighborhood? It changed. Rules relaxed. People spoke up. And my silo? Still standing. Still working. Still keeping them all connected. Funny thing is, Karen tried to take down my tower. But in the end, she was the one who lost power.